Hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited to be here today. I was actually kind of like pacing around, like, when are we going to have our call? I'm just like feeling like I might not do calls this late in the day. I feel like maybe earlier in the day, right? So, but I was trying to be a little bit more accommodating. So, hello, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone who is here. I'm so excited that you're here. I know that more people are going to be hopping on. So, I'm going to, I don't know, we can talk for just a moment and then I'm going to get started. But yeah, I'm really excited about today because this is all about divine partnership and assignment. And I think that some of the things that we've talked about already, the identity, and then one of the most aligned strategic pathways to create abundance in your business. And then there are other, where did that, hang on a second, I have a paper over here that went blowing away. But yeah, there's more abundance, more excitement happening. And I can't wait to get on this with you today. Just a moment. Just, oh my gosh. I dropped my paper from yesterday. I don't know. I took it off the thing and I just dropped it. But yeah, so we talked about some really good stuff yesterday, and I want you to know there are so many pathways and there's so many things that you can do, but this isn't all about that, right? This is about us being and, experiencing a place to come in, be a part of where we talk about all of the things, right? And we learn to become that version of us, like miracles. We talk about miracles. They're not like divine exceptions. They're actually a frequency shift, and they're completely predictable when you start to embody that identity. And so we talked about identity, and I'm going to give like a little tiny quick recap in just a minute, and give you guys a moment to get settled. Today is not really, I do think that you should have a pen and a paper because I'm going to do a little kind of inner exercise with you. And it's going to be something that I want you to just write down as it comes for a moment. Not a bunch of journaling, not a bunch of stuff, but just like a little beautiful exercise that I want to bring you into. And what else do I want to do? I want to make sure I have those questions. And then also I made notes so that I stay on track with you guys. But I'm also going to, with your permission, I want to share with you a way that you can work deeper with me that I'm really, really excited about. So, and if you want to stay for that, I invite you to stay for that because I think also for every one of you here, it's going to be a really good thing for you to witness and be a part of as well. So in a really great way. And I have my Starbucks, but let me tell you a secret. So I kind of love iced coffees and lattes. And so I don't love all the chemicals though that you get when you go to Starbucks. So I actually have Starbucks cups and I make them myself. So I don't have all the chemicals, but I have all the yumminess. So it's really good. How is everybody doing today? I know some of you guys don't have your cameras on. What's it? No one has their camera on. How is everybody doing today? Is everyone amazing? I mean, we are recording, so I know some of you guys don't want to come in and go on. And doing great. Love you. I love you too. And Sharon is doing fantastical. So, yes, everyone's doing amazing. Okay. So, I want to invite you guys to just kind of lean in. Oh, there's Lisa. Hi. So, we're going to just, oh, good. I'm so glad you're having a great day because guess what? I'm also having a great day. And here we are creating all kinds of magic together. So, that's amazing. And hopefully my dogs aren't barking and crazy because we have amazing, because we have I don't know, my little guy, my oh my God, he just turned 13. He looks like he's 10 though. But anyway, he just had a birthday a week and a half ago. So but his little friend came over, they're gonna go fishing, and my dogs love to bark. So if he's barking, because I'm kind of in an open space up here, because I just love the openness and the brightness of it. So I love my house. It's so incredible. So you might hear some barking, hopefully not. And I'm super excited to be sharing today. And hello, hello, hello. There's Shelly. There's Lisa. Oh my gosh. Doesn't it make you think about when you were a little girl? And I don't know, I might age myself here, but remember those shows where they would be like, oh, I see Crystal and Sharon and yeah, that was, my favorite when I was little. So, okay. So over the last couple of days, we have actually done a few different things. The first day we talked about identity coherence, and we actually did an exercise where we had a look at who we're being now and the version of us that is like, let's say, our $10 million or our highest potential, or which, by the way, 10 million is not your highest potential, but I'm just saying as an example. So that version of you, and what needs to be more in congruent, what needs to be more coherent, and so that you can actually align that identity coherence to collapse the timelines and shift things for you. And because really and truly, it's not just like fluff talk. It's actually true when you begin to embody that version of you and you start to let go of the old beliefs and habits and things that have been driving your life, the old identity, you can't not succeed. It's kind of like when you go to the gym, you can maybe, in the first week, you might notice a little difference, but then you just keep doing the daily habits that, you're going to the gym, you're choosing to eat better. You can't not get a result. Literally, you can't not feel better and look better and over time get to your desired physical outcome, right? And that's the same thing with your identity. And by the way, once you establish this new identity, you can't go back to the old thing. You can't, like if you're a super fit person and it's your habit to like get up and meditate and drink green juice and, go to the gym and, never eat anything processed, you're never going to go back to the time before where maybe you didn't have those same habits and you certainly didn't have the same body, right? So it's like that with your business. It's like that with the things that you're manifesting. It's like that with all of reality creation, because the reality creation, the order of creation is be, do, have, okay? And it's always starting with who you're being and then what you do from there, and then you get to have, okay? So, and then on the second day, we talked about this is just a very simple funnel that I want to say, this got me to 50K months in a couple of months back when I first started. And so actually I want to say, okay, so when I really first started doing online coaching, I want to say I've spent over $250,000 investing in my own personal development, in masterminds and growth and strategies and all the things. Okay. And I did build really amazing things, but I really got very discerning about what I wanted to bring in and what I wanted to leave out and what I wanted to just like completely no. And I want to say that back in that time when I really first started coming into the coaching industry, and I was a manifestation coach, by the way. And so at that time, I want to say that I was taught a lot of, because I built my business on Facebook. I had a very large group. I don't know, maybe it's not that large, 30,000 people. I guess that's not that large because some people have millions. But for me, it was a pretty big group. And, I was taught to like be posting in the group, getting people on coffee calls or whatever, coffee date calls. I was taught to post in multiple groups all the time. And when you post in other groups, you post like these kinds of, the things that trigger comments or whatever. So, things that are maybe exciting or catalyzing or whatever it is. And then you answer all the comments and you go, like, it was like so overwhelming because I was just constantly it's not that I was chasing, but that I was constantly following up, and it was too much, right? It was exhausting. It wasn't fun. And did I make money? Yes, but was it sustainable? Absolutely not. So it was when I started to do this where I actually, this, by the way, this is what I mean, where I started to shift who I was being, what I was thinking of myself, how I saw myself. And then I started to actually do small events or master classes and invite people to work with me. And I want to say, I didn't really do a lot of inviting people to work with me one-on-one at that time. I actually brought people into group programs, and I loved it because it was so much fun and it was easy, and I got to connect with so many amazing people. It was just a really great way to build my business at that time. And so this is like sort of that pathway. So it's a very simple funnel, and it really is like, you know, you can have that masterclass series, or that a challenge or whatever it is, and then you bring people in and they get to know you, they fall in love with you, you fall in love with them, you build community, right? And then you bring it in and you connect with the people, you offer the things that you're doing, and then you launch your signature offer, your core offer, whatever it is, and you invite people to be a part of it. And so, you know, and then after that, then the next thing is you do some pop-up Zooms, or you might do a master class on something else, but also inviting people in. And in the third week, and by the way, the third week you do, maybe you might do like a 2-day retreat or something. You can do it this way, or you can do it where you do maybe once a month you do a 3-day masterclass or whatever, but very simply inviting people into an experience with you where you pour into them, you give them a transformation, you show them the ahas. I've already had people in here implement some of these things and get clients already. So, you know, I mean, tomorrow I want to challenge you guys before you do this. Maybe tomorrow you show up on Friday and you do a pop-up Zoom. You just send it out to your email list. You put it on your social media, put it out on your stories and say, hey, I'm going to go live today at 3 p.m. Eastern, and this is what I'm going to talk about. It's going to be awesome. Get in here. And just do it and then see what happens and have fun with it. Literally, this was one of the simplest ways. And like I said, there's so many different strategies and things to build different kinds of businesses, because I work with all kinds of different people. They're not just coaches and healers, right? So you can have any kind of business. And when you show up and share your magic and let people get to know who you are, and you become more visible, you know, you become visible, but you become known and you get paid to be you. It's pretty freaking awesome. Okay. So today is our third call. And what I want to share with you today is really about divine partnership. Okay. And co-creating with the divine. I say God, and that's where I'm at. So that's my higher power, is just God. So it's whatever your higher power is, the higher power of your understanding of what makes you feel good. But that co-creation, because there is something greater than you, there is an infinite intelligence that has an infinite perspective that you don't. Like, you literally live like this. We have our fear noculars on. I remember I went to go see Kyle Cease. I don't know, he's some stand-up comedian. But he's like now a coach and he's like the spiritual coach. But yeah, I went to go see him and he said that, and I never forgot that, because we always live our lives with this tunnel vision, and we're literally seeing things that we're almost projecting the future based on like what we're afraid of. And so we only see what we think is possible based on our past evidence. And then we continue to perpetuate and recreate it over and over again. But if we allow ourselves to just be like infinite and just say, hey, whatever wants to come in, however it wants to come in, I'm open, I'm ready, I'm wildly available to receive it all. Then when you're in that energy, everything changes. When you are co-creating with your creator, everything changes, okay? Because the vision that you have, it didn't come from nowhere. It was given to you, it was put on your heart. And there is like the desire that you have, if it's not matching your current circumstances, it's not because it's not for you. It's not because it's just for them or you see evidence for other people. It's actually given to you because you have been also given the gifts, the talents, and the tools to make it happen. And I truly believe that with all of my heart, okay? That is not delusion. Although I want to say there is some really good delusion. And this means that you have those dreams and those desires and you get freaking delusional about it. Not the crazy delusion, but the good delusion where it's like, I don't even know how this is going to happen, but I know someday I'm going to freaking own a freaking jet. Like whatever it is. And it's not actually anything is possible. So it's not actually delusional, but it's kind of delusional. You know what I mean? So delusion is really, really good when it's that expansive, infinite, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to let myself want what I want. I'm going to let myself have the biggest, greatest, craziest, most unhinged, delusional desires, because that's how you start to become in alignment with it. You start to get excited about it. You know that it's yours, it's already done. And I will tell you that everything that you desire is already done. There's a version of you living in the field as a living potential in the field that when we observe more of that, we collapse and we create the matter, right? So when we observe more of the bullshit and more of what we don't want, then we collapse the waves into those particles and then we create that, okay? So you always have an opportunity to listen to what God wants for you. There is a higher intelligence that wants you to succeed. I have said this over and over. There's a million times in scripture, whether you read the Bible or not. I don't read the Bible, but there are pieces of scripture that I have read. I mean, no, I'm not going to say I don't read the Bible. I do read the Bible, but not like every single day I'm reading the Bible. But I will tell you, there are so many places in scripture, in Ephesians, in the book of Matthew, and they talk so much about wealth creation and abundance and, you know, all of the things that are available to you and are actually the covenant of the creator. It's a covenant. Okay. So it's like not just, you know, what you want, it's actually truly what is meant for you. Okay. So one of the other things that I want to, so I'm going to just touch on a few points that I've written down here that are really, really important when it comes to co-creating with God, when it comes to co-creating with the divine. And that is like also in our world and in the world of being a coach or a healer or any kind of entrepreneur, any entrepreneur, okay? We tend to look at what everybody else is doing. And we tend to ask other people's opinions about what we're doing. And we tend to compare ourselves with everybody else and what everybody else is doing. And then we think that, well, what the hell's wrong with me? Because I'm doing it too, and it's not working, or I'm not getting that result, or I should do it like what she's doing, and like, look at she's blowing up, and this is what she's posting about every day. And, you know, and all that does is literally water down and dilute what your gift and what your message and what your magic is. You are here to be a vessel of what wants to come through you. Again, this is why authenticity is such a high frequency, because it's the expression of your natural gifts, of what has been given to you. Okay. Your voice is that activator. It is that trigger. It is the thing that calls it in and brings it in. Okay. So stop asking ChatGPT, stop asking all these other people. Like, you know what you're meant to do. It's about getting silent. It's about sitting with it. It's about feeling into it. And that's the little exercise that I wanted to ask you a few questions today. We're going to just kind of sit in and tune in for a moment. But honestly, if you can access that part of you, your life will unfold in ways that you can't even imagine with your mind. Because like I said, your mind is this, okay? Your mind is a supercomputer that only knows what it knows from the past. And so it's about getting out of your head, getting into your body, living from your intuition, learning to access that guidance. Okay. So stop asking the marketplace. Okay. Stop giving strategy all the power, because the strategy executes the assignment and it must be aligned. Because when things don't work in our business, we blame the strategy. When things don't follow through for us, we go, oh, that doesn't work. That didn't work. First of all, I just want to say this. It's always the energy behind the strategy. Like I said, it's who you're being before you do the thing. Okay, so we don't want to blame strategy. There's a million strategies that are available to you. But I just want to say that there are so many strategies, and you have to have discernment for what not. Now, this doesn't go, oh, because this feels light and flowy. No, sometimes it feels scary as hell, and you do it anyway, right? That's what's holding me back. Okay, let me just open up the chat. I can't help it. Okay, so, okay, is putting myself out there online. But you know what, Crystal? You can build a freaking crazy, amazing, incredible business offline too. You can have in-person events. You can do all kinds of things. I actually did that too. There was a time years ago where I was, speaking at events and doing things like that and putting myself out there. And if you look at my social media, if you look at my Instagram and even Facebook at this point, I don't spend my life living on Instagram and Facebook. I would rather run ads, bring people into an event, share something awesome, and have them want to come and work with me than to be posting and praying, exhausting myself and going, why the heck isn't this working, right? And the only reason that you feel like, I don't know, I feel worried about putting myself online, is just about getting in alignment with your message, who you're talking to, and really where you want to do it. For me, again, like I don't really resonate with TikTok and Instagram, but I have so many clients that I've worked with who have grown and created wonderful businesses there. I also have clients that have come to me in the past with many like 100,000 followers, but didn't know really how to monetize it. So outside of doing like brand deals and promotion. But like one of my clients, she didn't really want to just be doing that. She wanted to like do other things rather than just be like talking about somebody's cool camera that, here's how she does these things. Like she wanted to do more than that, right? So we created a way for her to invite people in and get a little taste and get a transformation and want to go deeper with her. And part of that comes from showing up online. But I will say this, you can not show up online if you want to and run ads to events like this. You can create, for me, what I'm going to be focusing on for the rest of this year, because I've really gotten clarity on my message and my movement, is I'm going to be focused on YouTube and I'm going to be focused on my podcast, because that's what I want to do. I love sharing and I love giving and I love talking about really amazing things that people need to get that need to land for them to get a transformation, versus how much do you get from me for 30 seconds, me telling you, something that it might be really cool, but I mean, it's short, and then the people that are on those platforms are kind of like scroll. So it's like, they're not really paying attention. Some people are, but for the most part, not as much, right? I actually did a YouTube course not that long ago, and the coach said that, and she has like huge platforms on all of these platforms, and she built them out separately. And she said that for every 100 YouTube, or was it every 1,000 YouTube subscribers, was like having 10,000 people on Instagram or 100,000 people on TikTok. That was the quality of people, right? So you don't actually need to have even 1,000 followers on some of these platforms in order for you to grow a 6 or 7 figure business. I actually had a client who had less than 1,000 followers. This was a few years ago, and she had a $10,000 sales program, and she put it out there to her Instagram. She had 10 people sign up for it, and she made $100,000. So she had $100,000 launch with less than 1,000 people on Instagram. I don't think she even had a Facebook, and a very tiny email list, like maybe 100 people. So 10 people said, yes, this is for me. So it's not about like that you have to show up and be on a big stage and do the thing, but you do need to show up for yourself. And you do need to share your magic because people need to hear it. And that's your service, right? That's why selling is service. And I want people also, I really want people to understand too, like, yeah, sales is service, working with clients, showing up and sharing and all the things. Okay. It doesn't have to be exhausting. It can be very, very simple. One little thing, like a little pattern that you do, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. The other thing that you could do, even Crystal, you don't want to show up online and be on social media, and maybe you don't want to run ads to a live event and be doing something like this. That's cool. You can actually create offerings that you put out, and you can, and if you don't have a huge audience, run ads to it, get people into your world experiencing your magic. And you can create a very lucrative business doing that as well. There are coaches out there creating millions of dollars off of low ticket offers. There is a very specific strategy to that. And it's not just, oh, let me just create a whole bunch of random shit. It's actually very specific, very micro detailed, very micro topic, getting somebody a very specific result in a very bite-sized way, right? So like I could do maybe a mini course on how to grow your Instagram. Okay. Like I know how to grow an Instagram. I don't spend a lot of time. I rarely post on Instagram, but I've helped many of my clients grow on Instagram. And I actually have a girlfriend who has over 1 million followers, and she teaches people how to grow on Instagram. And I'm going to get her to come in and speak in my next mastermind. So she's awesome. But anyway, so yeah, like there's so many different ways that you can do this that feel aligned and that make you feel expanded and supported. But at the same time, I want to say, I want you to create, like what I said in the little Telegram chat today, I want you to create freedom, not by here's what I don't have to do, but I want you to create freedom based on what I get to do. Because when you're thinking freedom comes from not having to do all these things, you're actually lowering your frequency. When you say, I get to show up when I want to. I get to take a trip whenever I want to. I get to support my family. I get to retire my husband. I get to go to bed at night knowing that I had the most amazing, rich, beautiful, well-lived day. And I get to wake up the next morning super excited for what's coming next. Like that's the energy. That's freedom. Okay. That's freedom. So that when you wake up, there's not a big weight on your chest going, oh my God, I've got all these things. And what if it doesn't work? And what if no one likes me? And what if nobody buys? And oh my God. And no, this is not freedom, right? There's a lot of people that create very big businesses also and become very chained to those businesses, which was me. And back in the day, I created a business where I was chained to the business because if I stopped, the business stopped. So there are things like this simple funnel. Yes, you do have to keep moving, but then you complement it with the pre-recorded, with the little mini things, or with like maybe you have a mid-ticket kind of offering, you have courses and things. People buy courses. Here's the thing though. People don't just buy information anymore because I can go to ChatGPT and ask, how the hell do I do this? And it's going to tell me. But what people are buying is your unique vehicle. They're buying your support. They're buying because that's what people want. They want connection. They want authenticity. They want support. So when somebody goes and learns something from you because you are magical at this specific thing, that's what they want. It's not just the information anymore, right? So it's more the experience that people are looking for. So God is your source. So my third point here, I know I've been saying a lot of different points, but you're welcome. God is your source, not your clients, I feel like that's putting way too much pressure on things when we make our clients our source. Okay. So when God is your source, then money comes through people, not from people. Okay. And it flows and opens you up to receiving just because. So of course we want to create businesses that are lucrative, that create financial freedom, because hello, what would the world look like if more amazing people had freedom, if more amazing people had financial freedom, and they had more money, and they could donate, and they could buy land, and they could nourish their children better, and they could educate without being in this shit system that we have, and all the things, right? So I have to turn off my ringer. So we have to look at, there are infinite ways that abundance wants to come into you, that God wants to support you, that the infinite wants to support you. And so don't put that pressure on just that one place, whether it's your client, whether it's your course, whether it's your husband, whether it's your wife, whether it's your boss, whether it's your job. Like, how many people have a job and say, this is what I grew up with my dad, you know, initially, because he ended up becoming, my mom was like a major entrepreneur person, but he was like, you know, he was a guy, he was a tradesman. He ended up becoming an, you know, he continued to educate himself, became an engineer, but he worked for other companies. And he had that mindset that you have to, like, this is my source. This is, I have to show up and I have to work hard, and I've got to trade my time and my energy to receive that money. And that's how we have been programmed, right? But it's actually not true. There are infinite ways that money wants to come to you. And it's not either just that you have to win the lottery. Okay. If you think actually that the only way that you could have millions of dollars is by winning the lottery, guess what's going to happen? You shut off all of the other open streams and taps that want to be streaming to you, that are there in the infinite field. And you shut all that shit off because you're like, nope, the only way I could ever have $100 million is if I did this. Like, talk to the people who created programs or maybe apps or businesses that were bought. Like, there was a guy that created a business. Apple bought it. No, who bought it? PayPal bought it. I can't remember what his company. It might have been called Apple, not this Apple. But anyway, whatever his company was. But he didn't know. He was just like some startup dude in Silicon Valley, and he sold his company to PayPal for $4 billion. $4 billion. Sarah Blakely wanted, like, you know, stuff to hold in her cellulite and thought other women might want that too. And she created Spanx. And then she went to Neiman Marcus, actually. She went to Neiman Marcus and harassed them to put it in her store, in their store. And they said, after a lot of harassment, they said, okay, we'll put it in the store. And then she actually kind of sneakily went, because they put it in the back of the store, she kind of went and took some and put it in little stands around the cash registers. And nobody stopped her, because the people at the cash registers, because if you remember what it's like to go into a department store, the places where the cash registers are scattered around, they have like stands or like, you know, like things and like a shelf in front of them or whatever. And she started doing that. And the people who were working at the cashier places just assumed that she worked for Neiman Marcus. So nobody questioned it. And then all of a sudden, the sales blew up, and Neiman Marcus was like, holy shit, everybody wants this. Literally, that woman sold that business, or I don't even think she did sell this. I don't even, she became a billionaire because of the business. This was a woman who did not have a lot of money. And, you know, and if she said the only way that I could ever make $1 million or $1 billion would be like, holy crap, if I won the lottery, or if I won the freaking whatever they have in the United States, where they have these ridiculous lotteries, but we don't have those here in Canada. We have like 50 million, I think is probably the max. But anyway, I'm just saying, you're shutting off all the taps if you only think that this is the only way that you can do it. Okay. So God is your source. But this also means that if God is your source, you don't sit back and go, okay, God, bring it in. You actually have to move. You actually have to execute. You got to do your part. Let God do his part. You do your part. Okay. Let the infinite surprise you. Let the miracles show up for you because you become the woman who normalizes them. Okay, it's what you normalize. And that's why with identity shifting, we do so much in like inner work. The inner work is nervous system work as well. Because why? Because your nervous system has to be on board, right? So that it normalizes. So like if I say to you, oh, you just need to go get on the stage in front of 20,000 people and, you know, talk about your new book, you would like probably freak out. Okay. However, I know Sharon wouldn't. She'd be like, I'm there. Okay. But because she's here. But and she has a new book coming out. But anyway, so if you were told, yeah, go out on the stage and just talk about this big thing and you know, talk about your book, you might freak out. But if you had actually already done that, or if you had done like mental and emotional and physical, like the feeling, that rehearsal, you know, it starts to get more normalized in your body. This is why I don't say when you do a visualization, you don't go, oh, imagine you're winning the lottery, or you're like, you have the business, or you got married and you had the wedding dress and it was the best thing ever. And you're like, oh my God, like, you know, I want you to be in the energy of the excitement of it and the joy of it, but also knowing that it happened. Right. So it's normal for you to be married now. It's normal for you to look back and remember the beautiful time that you had at this event. It's normal for you to open your bank account on your phone and see $100,000 in your checking account or whatever. Okay. So you normalize it and then it's easily expanded from that place. Okay. So God is your source. And you've got to move, but you've got to move. Okay. God is your CFO. So when you make the infinite your CFO, that means that what I'm saying here is that you open yourself to receive the ideas, the $1 million idea. You could invent something like, okay, somebody invented pool noodles. Somebody invented, like, I mean, there was a whole movie about this back in the day. Somebody invented Post-it notes, okay? Like somebody invented these things and became incredibly wealthy because they had an idea. There's something missing. This is what I need to talk about. And like, even in the marketplace, it's like we talked about yesterday. What's the obvious problem? All the marketing people tell you to focus on the obvious problem. But I'm going to say, go beneath that. What do they truly want? And then speak to the version of them who has it and create a movement around that, right? Or a micro movement around that. Okay. That's how we expand. And that's how we receive the ideas that want to come through us. The ideas are all there. They're in the field. Okay. Do you remember I did not see the Michael Jackson movie, but I heard about this, and so many people talked about the Michael Jackson movie, but he would say every day that he decided that he was this, and he was like the best in the world, and he was the best music, and he was this, and he was that, and he was going to write the best song and be the biggest pop star in the world. And he would sit and he'd meditate, and his family was like, what are you doing over there? And he said, I'm meditating and I'm focusing because I don't want God to send the good ideas to anyone else, right? He wanted to be the one to receive the ideas because they're out there floating in the field. So he wanted to be open to receive it. And truly, that is how it works. You are tapping into a field where there are infinite potentials available. And if you are not open to receive them and you are closed off, you cannot hear the whispers of the infinite. You cannot hear the whispers of God that are trying to come through and give you these ideas. Okay. So it's about actually listening. When God is your CFO, you listen, you receive, then you discern, then you decide, and then you say, who do I need to be? And then you move. And that's how creation works. And that's how co-creation works. Because we're here co-creating an incredible life, an incredible reality. Okay. And I want to say this about prayer. When you pray, you cannot pray desperate prayers. And whether you are praying or you are working with the universal field, however it is, okay, whether it's like actual prayer or it's manifestation and you're saying, hey, this is what I'm calling in. I forgot to drink my coffee. When you say that, and this is what I'm calling in, you've got to pray with authority. You've got to pray from a place of knowing that it's done. Like you put in your order, it's already done. You trust, you know it's yours. Okay. And if it's not, then it's cool because something better came instead. Right. So imagine if you lived your whole life like that. Like imagine if you actually just fully trusted that everything that you wanted was going to show up for you. And that all you had to do was be the person that could hold it and receive it and actually hold it. Okay. So when you pray and you ask and you are like, oh my God, please do this, please do that. Or universe, oh my God, I really, really want this. I want this. And I know a lot of manifestation people say, get really clear on what you want. Yes, get clear on what you want, but don't think about it from a place of this is what I want. Think about, oh my gosh, this is for me. This is already done. Thank you, God, for all of the resources. Thank you for the contracts, the signed deals coming in. Thank you, God, for opening up the resources of heaven and showering them down. Thank you, God, for seed money. Thank you for all of the magic and abundance that's flowing to my way every single day. And I'll tell you, I started doing this, and this was like a few years ago, several years ago. I started doing this thing where I would get in the shower and I would do this gratitude, but not bullshit gratitude. Like I would be so in it. I would be almost like jumping up and down when I got out of the shower. And I did that for, I'm going to say a short period of time, like a week, something like that. And I got the nudge. I just heard, check your bank balance. So I went on my phone. I checked my bank balance and there was like $13,000 that came out of nowhere. And it was in my bank account. And I don't know, it was like maybe a tax return or some sort of tax credit or something, but it was totally unexpected. And it was like, what? This is so crazy. And it actually works. And I've done this so many times, you guys, like so many times. There was a time when we were moving. Our house was for sale. Somebody bought the house and I was like, oh, we'll find a house. We're just going to rent a house. And, there's so many houses out there. So no worries. But I couldn't find a house, literally. And so because I probably started looking about a month, 2 months, probably 2 months before I know I work like that sometimes. This is the Gemini in me flying by the seat of my pants at times. But anyways, so I did this and I was like, but I couldn't find a house. And I started to get really upset because I was like, oh my God, we're going to be homeless and whatever. And I actually was getting really upset. And I was like obsessive on like Craigslist and what's it called? Marketplace. And I was looking, and then all of a sudden I was like, no, I have to stop right now. And actually Dave said to me, can you please stop and follow your own goddamn advice and just like stop obsessing, let it come in. So literally, and I remember this so clearly, and I had this big blanket that I couldn't wash at home. And I went to the laundromat and I was just sitting there at the laundromat washing my blanket. And I was like, I'm just going to I'm going to be peaceful. I'm not going to sit here on my phone and look for a house. I got a phone call, I kid you not, from a friend of mine who was like, hey, are you guys still looking for a house? Because, my uncle has this house and and I was like, is it like this? And does it have that? And is it in this place? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. And so, yeah, so that's what happened. So we ended up doing that. And, I've had like the craziest things happen like that. There was another one that just came to mind, but I lost it. But anyway, I digress, and I can tell stories all day long, but I don't want to do that. So your assignment, okay, requires your participation. Like I said, you got to move, you got to take responsibility, and you got to be in your authority, right? Don't pray desperate prayers. Don't ask the universe to like, oh my God, bring it to me. I got to have this by this date, or this is going to no, you have to open yourself to receive it. Okay. And you've got to be in the authority of it, and you've got to trust, and you've got to know it's already done. And if you knew, like I said to you the other day, if you knew that you had, a whole team of 20-foot tall angels walking behind you everywhere you went, how would you be showing up? How would you be showing up? You knew you couldn't fail. You knew you were fully funded and backed by heaven. How would you be showing up? Right? That's the big piece. So I want you to remember that. Rax, you unmuted, so I don't know if you meant to.
Nope.
Just thought,
Thank you.
before you start screaming at your dog or something. But anyway, like me.
Hey. No, just kidding. Thank you so much.
Of course. So yeah, but anyway, I am I really hope that this is sinking in for you. Okay. And so I want to just invite you. We'll do this little exercise. It's a closing your eyes exercise. And I want to invite you to just close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to just drop into your body, drop into your breath, drop into your body. Drop into your heart. And I want you to see yourself actually standing before this beautiful doorway that is your heart, that opens up into your heart space. And maybe the doorway looks like a beautiful flower. Maybe it looks like a big golden door, whatever it is absolutely perfect. Just walk in and just be in that space for a moment. And maybe there's a big, beautiful couch that you sit down at, or a nice table, whatever it is. And right now you're calling in, or you're not even calling in, you're just noticing that your higher self is coming in. Maybe it's God, actually, that's coming in. Whatever it is that feels comfortable for you is absolutely perfect, okay? So there's this beautiful divine presence in front of you. And I want you to ask this presence, what are you asking me to let go of and stop carrying? And just listen for a moment. And what are you asking me to trust? And listen. Who are you asking me to be? And what are you asking me to do? And I want you to just open your eyes and take your pencil or your pen and just write it down, whatever just comes through. Before your mind comes in and starts getting busy, what came through for you? I want you to write it down and see it. And if anybody here would like to share, I would love for you to share. You can unmute and share if you like.
Yeah, I think for me, what came through was just like being focused
Mm.
and trusting, like trusting the process, trusting in my higher power, like that they have it.
Yes. I love that. I love that for you too. I love that so much. Is there anyone else that wants to share? You can keep your camera off because this is a recorded event, so I totally understand. But if you want to share, feel free. Nobody else wants to share. That's okay. I still love you. But I love that. So that's for you. Okay. So it is for you to really just notice, what is it that you need to let go of here? And what is it that you need to trust? And what is it that wants to come through you. Like, who do you need to be and what is it that you need to do? And honestly, if you tune in every morning and just kind of before the craziness of the day comes in and you tune in with your higher self or your higher power, then you are absolutely going to experience a lot more. That's how you receive those ideas and those messages and those gifts. And yes, I would love for you to share. Do you want to share it in the chat or do you want to?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
This isn't about a download that I just had, but guys, I want you to, if I don't know who's here and how well you know Simone, but I have to tell you, we take these courses and a lot of people say a lot of things and it's like, oh, but for confidence, I want you to know she knows what she's saying is true. I remember when she worked like a crazy person. I have a ranch in the middle of the nowhere and she came up here and she spent the whole day she had to make calls, take calls. She was in her bed with her phone going like a mental case. So I know, sorry, not a good description.
It is true.
But she worked like crazy. And was she successful? Yes. But is that how she wanted to be? Stressed out, tired, totally distracted, having to answer? No. And on the opposite, I've seen her manifest miracles. Actually, we've done some together and she's not lying. And these things that we're talking about don't just happen once in a while. When you get what she's telling you, it's an ongoing communication that happens all day, every day. These little miracles aren't the exception to the rule. They are the normal. So please listen to what she's saying. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you. That's just so lovely.
Welcome.
I so appreciate that. Oh my gosh, that's so, oh my God, that's so kind. And and she's right. Yes, it's literally when you're in that space, you're just kind of like online with heaven, with God, with the infinite. You're text messaging with the infinite all day long instead of, all the distractions and all of the things that pull you out of your power or put you in a self-doubting kind of place. So okay, so I want to share something with you guys, and I would love to be able to share it with you here. I know it's 5 minutes before the hour, but I want to share something with you. And this is the first time that I'm sharing this. This is new for me. I'm opening up a mastermind and it is called Assigned. I want to share it with you. If you don't want to hear about it, you don't have to say. But I am going to share it. It's the first time that I'm opening up this particular experience. And, based on everything that I've learned and come through and created, this is going to be such a magical thing. So I want to be able to share screen in let me just see if I can. Do I have this queued up? I do. Like, look at me. I'm just like so cool and technical. Okay. So now I have to make the page bigger here. So, because I'm blind. I'm just kidding. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen if I can. Okay. And I'm just going to go through this super quick. Okay. So, because I don't want to keep you all day, and I hope that I do this right. So Assigned. So this is my incredible 6-month mastermind. It is for visionary women or any people really ready to become known for their work, build an extraordinary business, build an extraordinary life, create the wealth and the freedom and the impact that they know that they're capable of. Okay. So, oh my God, do I need to refresh? Oh, I do. I left it open too long. Yes, I'm not a technical person. Oh my God, you guys. It doesn't want to show up. The sharing window closed. Oh, okay. So that's fine. So let me share again. Gosh darn it all. Okay. Sorry for the, I'm not a tech person. This is why I have Dave. Okay. Okay. So we have, oh my God, seriously, what is happening here? I might need to just reopen it. Do you guys mind if I do that for a sec? I know I don't want to keep you guys from seeing this incredible magic. So hang on here. Let me just close this. Close. Okay. Okay. Let's go here. Oh, you guys. Thank God it's just you guys. Okay. So I think I can share my screen now. Maybe I was sharing the wrong screen. Who knows? Okay. Let's do it. Let's share my screen. Hopefully this works and you can see, and you can see like 45 tabs that I have open, but I just want to be able to share this with you. So I'm just going to leave these things open. Okay. So Assigned is my new mastermind and I'm really excited about it. Okay. So I want to share this with you because I know if this resonates with you, this is the signal. And by the way, you have a signal. It's got to be out there in this world. And it's kind of like the school of fish, or you guys have heard about how they took the grandfather clocks and they put them all in the room and they set them all at different, cadences where they were ticking and the little pendulum was swinging, but then they all aligned to the strongest signal. And this is what I want for you guys, to put your stuff out there and be the strongest signal and call in your people and get your message out into this world, because it's actually not even about you. It's about what this humanity needs. Okay. So anyway, aside. So now it's about becoming the one who actually does the thing, right? You know that you're here to do big stuff. So you got to be the one who does it. You don't need more information. This isn't a course. I'm not giving you a bunch of modules. We don't need that, right? You've already done that. Knowing what to do and becoming the one who consistently does it is a whole different ballgame. And that's what this is about. That's why it's a mastermind. And that's why it's about supporting you through all of these things. And I see so many brilliant women sitting on like literal gold mines. And it's not because they, struggling in their businesses or not showing up in their businesses. It's not because they don't have the talent, and even a lot of them know what to do, but they're just too close to their own work to see what needs refinement, because you can't read the label from inside the jar. Okay. Like you need to be on the outside. You need to have eyeballs. You need fresh perspective, and you need someone else to help you hold that vision that you have for yourself. Okay. And I find a lot of women second guessing the decisions they make. Double-mindedness, literally in the Bible, I will say this, is that you actually give the underworld permission to come in and take from you when you don't stand in authority. Okay. So when you decide, a decision means that everything else doesn't matter. Okay. So I want to teach you to make a decision, to stand with it, and to have authority over your decisions. Right. And so many people don't do that. Their positioning doesn't reflect the level of who they are and the level that they're ready to play at. So they position themselves based on what old bro marketers told them to do, which was like, twist the knife, talk about the problem, pull the people out of the ditch. And you end up with like desperate people that need to be pulled out of the ditch. And guess what? They don't want to be pulled out of the ditch, right? So you don't need another course. Nobody in here needs a course, but you need to be in the right space, and you need to be around other people who are building extraordinary lives and businesses and amazing manifestations, right? So imagine 6 months from now, you know exactly what you want to be known for, and your positioning reflects it. Your offers make sense, and your message connects to the people that you're actually here to serve. You're generating revenue intentionally instead of hoping that this month's content turns into clients. And if I had a dime for everyone that I know posting and praying right now, I'd be a bajillionaire. You're operating from an identity that can actually hold the business, wealth, and visibility that you've asked for. This is who you are. You can't go back to the struggle. You can't go back to not knowing. You can't go back to the feast and famine. You can't. Once you embody that version of you, you can't go back. Okay. Your business is not separate from your assignment. Your business is a part of your assignment. And when I say your life purpose and your mission and your assignment, I don't mean that it's just your job. It's about how you're showing up, and your business is a part of that, okay? I believe the gifts that you've been given and the work that you feel called to do and the vision that you have for your life, they're not random. They're given to you. And your business can become the vehicle through which that work creates extraordinary impact and extraordinary wealth. That's what we're here for, okay? You don't ask permission for your mission, okay? We ask for guidance from where it came from. Okay, the business and the woman building it. This is where Assigned is different. We work on the strategy that moves your business and the identity that's creating. Okay, so there are going to be strategy that we go over, but there's going to be the identity work. Like I'm talking about, this is the place for building extraordinary lives, manifesting money, identity, relationships, leadership, identity, all of that. Identity again, all of that, right? Okay, that's what we work with, both of these worlds, for you and everyone in this room for 6 months together, right? And by the way, we are stepping into a time, we're in the Q4, so the fourth quarter of the year. And literally, I know that this is the time where people want to they want to end the year on a high note, and they want to start the new year on a high note. So this is the time to get your mission and your business out into the world, okay? And become known for the work that's actually yours. So we'll refine your positioning around who you're really here to serve, the problems that they're working and asking you to solve, and the deeper transformation that your work creates. That's where your micro movement begins, okay? So this is where people say, oh my God, I need help with this. And then other people are like, oh, you need to go to her. You become known for that, right? You become the authority for that. Then we build the business around it. Okay, so offers that make sense, messaging that connects, a clear path to go deeper, and we have the visibility and the audience and the sales strategy that is all aligned with it. Okay, there are thousands of I say this all the time. There's a million strategies. Okay, but you got to find the one that feels aligned. I love to give people the simplest pathway that is proven, that I know can create very big wins for you financially, and also like just literally heal that visibility wound. Like how many of us literally feel like it's not safe to show up and speak because what if we fail? What will people say? I mean, we're operating from, generational trauma where it wasn't safe for women to speak. It wasn't safe for you to be magical. It wasn't, like women were burned at the stake at times. Okay. Like we've got that, so this is where we overcome all of that. Okay. This is assigned a 6-month open enrollment mastermind. So we work through your actual, so this isn't like open card, closed card. Like we're doing this and we're bringing people through to expand. So again, this will never be just like, here, come in and there's like a bunch of modules. Okay. We have 50 live rooms. That means that so for 6 months, every week we meet twice a week, because I feel that meeting once a week is not enough for when you have questions, when you need support with implementation, when you are going through something, when you just had a huge dip, something shitty happened in your life, something amazing happened in your life, all of these things, right? So this is what this is about, okay? And my eyes will be on your business for 6 months. And you will also be masterminding with other people who are here doing amazing things, right? So 2 mastermind rooms every week. That's what we talked about. Mondays and Thursdays. Okay. For all of that, this is teaching, mentorship, coaching, strategy, hot seats, identity work, business refinement, and implementation. Okay. So bring what's actually happening in your life and in your world and in your business, and then we'll work on what matters the most to move that for you now. Okay. So direct mentorship between the calls, you all have access to message and work with me and share things with me and receive from me all the time. Okay. So you don't wait for the next mastermind call. You have access to a private mentorship channel throughout your 6 months with me personally. Okay. Monthly implementation. So we do have an implementation and team support every month. So once a month, you can bring yourself or bring your team. and we'll support the practical implementation systems and tech behind what you're creating, okay? Because your ideas need to make it out into the world. And that's one of the other things that I see for so many people. They don't know how to get their magic out into the world, and the tech stops them. And it's like, oh my God, it's such a waste. Okay. So I don't want that for you. I want you to feel fully supported. Okay. And Dave is the guy, and he has some people that are going to be supporting him as well to support you as quickly as you need. And so you also have access to ask questions throughout, but there's that monthly call where you get to bring your stuff and build things out and do all the things. Okay. Conversion event build. Okay. So this was the thing that I want to start with you guys. That's, you know, when we start this whole mastermind, is that I want you to build out a conversion event. Okay. During a whole focus month, we're going to build it together: concept, promise, experience, messaging, promotion, offer, conversion, and then you can put it out into the world. Okay. And this is like literally we're all doing it together, and it's super fun, and you're going to blow up. It's going to be so fun. And yeah, we're going to do sales and revenue experiences. So we're heading into one of the biggest buying seasons of the year. So we'll create focused sales challenges and campaigns together. And it's not, again, there's this business support, but there's the identity support and the manifestation and all of the magic in there too. So just remember, this is not just about business. This is about so much more. Okay. So, but learn to intentionally create revenue instead of waiting for sales to happen. Okay. Like this way, you know where you're at and the room that you're actually known in. So you're entering a community of women. We're starting a community of women and people building significant things as well as you, right? So this is where ideas get sharpened, wins are celebrated, and collaborations happen. Okay. So you don't have to build the next evolution alone. You get to be with people who are supporting you and who are growing together, right? So I can't even read this, it's so small. Okay, so what's possible? These are just a few of the people that I've worked with. So, you know, Gail was charging $200 for a session, and she was driving all around town, LA actually. So you can imagine that, driving all around LA, meeting up with people to give them $200 healing sessions. And I was like, girl, this is not the vibe. And so I showed her how to create her first event. She had 30 people come in, and I think she did $10,000 right off the bat the first time. Then she did another like 7-day course, and that event brought in about $30,000. And then within a couple of months, I think it might have even been shorter. She actually filled up her retreat, because her thing was she started building an audience, but she didn't know how to speak to them and, you know, invite them into her things. Right. And she actually filled up her retreat, and, you know, she made 50K from that. So, Krista, she's amazing. She went through so much, and we did a lot of inner work with her, and she really fully stepped into her vision. And right now she's at a 6-figure business, and she will be at a 7-figure business, I would say, in the next 6 months or so. So she's doing amazing things. Sylvia, oh my God, Sylvia is one of my favorite humans. She was a Hall of Fame celebrity athlete. Okay. So she was in the Tri Women's World's Champion in the Hall of Fame 3 years in a row. She is unreal. And she started her coaching business. And I honestly, we went and did the deep work and transformed and let go of so much stuff. And she started to open up to ideas, and we created some really cool things. And right now she's actually completely off social media, off grid. She has a retreat center, and it's like she's living the dream. Okay. Like she's literally building and experiencing her dream. Okay. And then one of my clients her name is Lisa, and she lives here. Actually, I just live just outside of Vancouver. And she lives close to me, and she had been recently widowed. She didn't know what she wanted to do. She was afraid to leave the 9 to 5, but she wanted more. you know, especially when you lose your partner, I think you start to look at life differently and like, what are you doing with your life? And she just wanted more. And she actually ended up opening up her own retreat center for people who are widows and transitioning into new eras in their lives. Like she's just doing it, right? So we officially begin September 21st, but your experience begins the moment you say yes, because we do the onboarding and we start connecting and we start being in the community together. Okay, so we do that right away. And then starting on September 21st, we are doing our twice a week calls. Okay, so our first mastermind isn't module 1, it's the beginning of the room that we're creating together. So we're establishing where we're going, and we're naming what you're here to create and setting the vision for the next 6 months. And then we actually go to work being that version of you who actually creates it. And included for the founding members, it says plus Tulum. So we are actually doing a retreat in Tulum in January. Okay, so we're doing a retreat coming up, and you will actually get $3,000 towards the inevitable experience in Tulum. It is like a luxury, full-on experience in a luxury villa in Tulum, Mexico. So that's going to be incredible. We're not talking about that today, but what's inside your 6 months is the weekly mastermind room, the direct mentorship access, monthly implementation and team support. We have our conversion event build, but I mean, also we can build out some beautiful sales funnels and things like that that will bring people into your world without you having to show up all the time. So that's part of it. Okay, that's a big part of it. Because that's a part of you having that freedom, and then the rest of the stuff that you do is just like it's amazing. So you don't feel like you're creating from stress. You feel like you're supported. There's money coming in. It's freaking awesome. Okay, so sales and revenue experiences, private onboarding with me, and the assigned community, $3,000 credit for Tulum. If you want to come, it's 888. But wait, this is only the beginning. So I actually, for founding members, I decided that I wanted to do 5555. So the complete 6-month experience is $5,000, you guys, 5,500. So payment options are available, and assigned will remain an open enrollment mastermind, but there will only ever be one group of founding members. And so that is where it's going to be. So it will be in the future. It's going to be 8888888, just the 8's, just the 4. Join and pay in full within 48 hours of seeing this. Then we're actually doing the assigned private immersion. So this is a completely bespoke private half day with me. So VIP days with me are $7,500. So we're doing a private half day with me, 3 uninterrupted hours devoted to whatever will create the greatest movement in your life and your business right now. Okay, there's no generic agenda. We get to build this together. Okay, and then my private VIP days, like I said, you know, you get that experience included. And I don't want to make, and I don't want you to make the decision from pressure. That's why I'm saying do 48 hours. So if you feel like you want to sit with it and feel into it and where you want to go, that's cool, but honor your leadership and move forward. Okay, so like, don't talk yourself in and talk yourself out and get all in your head. Just be with it. Okay, like if it feels good. You have an assignment. I don't believe the vision that you have for your life and your work is random. There are things that you're here to create that could only come through you, and you get to be extraordinarily compensated for bringing them into the world. You don't need another year of, oh my God, I almost did it. Like, that's enough of that. Okay, so we don't ask permission for our assignment, and that is it. That is my invitation to you to come in and be a part of this experience. And I hope that you really feel into that. And if it feels really good and it resonates with you, feel free to message me and ask me more about it. And that's a wrap for today. So I want to thank you guys so much for being here. And I really hope that everything that we delivered through today was really incredibly powerful. As always, I'm here to serve and support you because I love you so much and I want to see you rise. And that's what this is about. So I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.